Jesus teaches the people. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a hill and sat down. His followers came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "They are blessed who realize their spiritual poverty, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. They are blessed who grieve, for God will comfort them. They are blessed who are humble, for the whole earth will be theirs. They are blessed who hunger and thirst after justice, for they will be satisfied. They are blessed who show mercy. They are blessed whose thoughts are pure. They are blessed who work for peace. They are blessed who are persecuted for doing good." Poor, blessed, those who are humble in heart are the ones who Jesus says are blessed. I wonder how we've come so far from that as a culture. I wonder why the main theme in our culture is not "blessed are those that are poor." And it really, and I mentioned this in my last video, it really seems like to me that the ones who are blessed are the ones who are accumulating. The more you have, the better off you are. And I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with what kinds of emotions that stirs in me. I'm not comfortable with just allowing that to continue to be the main frame with which I look at my life through, nor do I feel comfortable helping others, mentoring them in that kind of value system. It's not what Jesus taught. It's not what he came to say to the culture. Now, I grew up in a very broken background. My family was very, very much wounded and hurting, and because of that, there was a lot of dysfunction that I had to face. You know, my dad left before I was born, and that left a gaping hole in me, and I really think affected who I was as a person. Like overall, like it affected not just my biology, but the emotional well-being within me. And years ago, when I confessed my sins, really when I confessed addiction to broken sexuality, to pornography, to even adultery within my marriage, I was a mess when Jesus came into my life. I mean, a mess. And not only was I a mess, I was creating messes wherever I went relationally. So, I mean, that's who Jesus come to seek and save. That's the kind, it was, on a very personal level, it was me. It's you too. If you believe that you're broken, if you believe that you actually have a need for God. But until you get to that place, I mean, I'm just going to be honest, and maybe there's something wrong with my head here, but how dare you talk about being saved? How dare you talk about being restored? Restored from what? Saved from what? If you are not in a place where you are willing to reckon with the depravity of being a human being and the brokenness and the sin, don't tell people you're something that you're not. But you know, the good news is today you can talk about the brokenness. You can say what is messed up inside of you. You can boast in your weakness, as Paul says. You can boast about that. But don't sit on avarice. Don't sit on being blessed. I mean, even in your physiological makeup, if you were someone who grew up in a stable home, and think that there's anything to save there. Because Jesus has come for the brokenhearted, the wounded, the poor. And so that gives me a caveat. If you did grow up in a stable home, if you do have a stable physiology, if you do have a stable emotional life, you have a lot to reckon with. Because sometimes it's more difficult to figure out where you are poor. But Jesus does want to save. He wants to transform. He wants to heal. But the raw material, what he is working with, what he needs to work with, is a humble heart, a broken heart. He's saving me even today. I was thinking about some of the avarice in which I live in, just constant and continuous need for stuff, which obviously is an inherited thing from our culture, but I'm broken in that area. I need him to help me recover from that. Do you recognize your need to recover?